Washington voters may have to prove their citizenship before voting. What we know about a new initiative.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if cooperating?
It's something I haven't thought about.
Plus, Ghislaine Maxwell faced a second day of questioning about Jeffrey Epstein. The latest developments in the closed-door meetings.
More warm and sunny weather is on the way for the weekend, and it looks like things will be heating back up into the 90s for next week.
Good evening. Thank you for wrapping up your week with us here tonight on KREM 2 News. I'm Cody Proctor. Well, new tonight, get ready to feel some pain out on the roadways. We've got more constructions kicking off soon. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy tells us which city construction projects kick off this next week.
Well, starting on Monday, the City of Spokane is embarking on several construction projects, including one that's happening here at the intersection of Broadway Avenue and Havana. Signs are out telling drivers what to expect come Monday. Grind and overlay work starting at areas on Sprague and Alki Broadway Avenues. It includes updating curb ramps to meet ADA standards. This means the streets at Alki Broadway Avenue from Havana to Freya will be closed. Drivers will be detoured and encouraged to use Sprague or Trent Avenue. They should also expect slower commutes. Another project happening Monday is a grind and overlay project on both Maple Street and Walnut between 2nd and 5th Avenue. Drivers will also be detoured and encouraged to use Sprague or Trent. Then starting Tuesday, a grind and overlay project starts on Division Street with lane closures from 4th to 7th Avenues. There's no detour, but drivers should expect both slower speeds and delays. As for timelines, the project impacting Freya lasts through November. The one at Maple and Walnut Streets will finish up earlier in October, and the division projects expected to wrap August 6th. All three projects, the city says, are designed to make the roadways across each area safer. The city also wants to emphasize that local businesses will be open during these construction projects. They encourage anyone who can to support them as they're being impacted, as well as drivers. In Spokane, Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Connor, thank you so much. And of course, a big part of why we have what's known as construction season in the summer is, of course, the weather, and it could be a good one for us this weekend. Meteorologist Michelle Bosch joining us now with a first look at your forecast tonight.
Yeah, weather's not going to be impacting the construction workers other than maybe being a little bit warm outside. We got plenty of sunshine on the way for the weekend and still going to be dealing with a little bit of wind. I know that's been a factor in some of the area wildfires. Current wind speeds are still a little bit on the breezy side, 15 miles an hour in Spokane, 21 miles an hour in Omak. It's not going to be quite as windy tomorrow, but we're still going to kind of have that persistent breeze out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour and can still see wind gusts up around 20 miles per hour. By early next week, those winds are going to come down quite a bit and won't be an issue anymore. Temperature-wise, very comfortable out here. My favorite time of the evening, 78 degrees. Sun's not beating down on me, so it feels good. 72 in Deer Park, still in the 80s in Lewiston, lower 70s from Moses Lake and in Omak. And all clear on radar. We didn't see really any cloud cover today. And looking at clear skies tonight and plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. Short-term forecast looks like this will bottom out in the lower 60s, already be in the mid-70s by 10 a.m. And looking at sunshine for the next 3 days. Temperatures are going to start heating up by early next week, though. We are going to be back in the 90s.
Michelle, thanks so much. Now, earlier tonight, a fast-moving wildfire burning northwest of the Little Ponderay campground broke out. That fire ended up scorching about 75 acres. The Stevens County Emergency Management says air attacks made significant progress on that fire. Officials say that fire's forward progression's been stopped, meaning it's no longer spreading. Now, that new fire sparked right between two big fires, both still burning in Stevens County right now. The first is the Lake Spokane fire near Tum Tum. That fire still has level 3 evacuations in place right now for the Happy Hills area. There are also level 2 get ready evacuations. This fire has burned more than 2,500 acres and crews have it 22% contained. Nearly 400 personnel are working on that fire. Meanwhile, the Hope fires burned more than 7,800 acres near Northport, but crews are increasing the containment. That fire destroyed 2 homes and about 20 other buildings, such as barns and cabins. Almost 500 personnel are working on that fire. Crews still have level 1 and 2 evacuations in place throughout that area. Investigators are still working to figure out what exactly sparked that fire. Well, switching gears now tonight, for the first time since Wednesday's sentencing, we're hearing more about what was behind the explosive testimony from the family of one of the Moscow murder victims. Steve Gonzalez, the father of Kaylee Gonzalez, made headlines for turning the podium, you can see it right there, to directly address the man convicted of killing his daughter. He told CBS's Gail King this morning he did it to send a message to Kohberger that he was no longer in control.
I wanted to face him. I wanted to set a tone of what I think a courtroom should look like. A courtroom should be about protecting the victims and not emboldening like the person who did this.
His daughter Olivia's testimony also raising eyebrows as she attacked Kohberger's ego. Her father saying the family prepared their statements together, grounded in the message that they're not victims, but survivors. Meanwhile, today in Arizona, a judge sentenced so-called doomsday mom Lori Vallow Daybell to life in prison. She was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder in 2 separate trials earlier this year. Vallow Daybell's already serving 3 life sentences in Idaho for murders, including her 2 youngest children. Investigators say the 52-year-old believed evil spirits had taken over some people, including the children. In April, an Arizona jury found her guilty of conspiring with her late brother in the 2019 killing of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow. Well, time right now for your Night Beat for a quick look at today's top stories. Washington State's Republican Party is moving to require Washington voters prove they're U.S. citizens by changing voter registration requirements. Prospective voters check a box declaring they're a U.S. citizen. If passed, voters would have to provide an enhanced driver's license, a passport, birth certificate, or other proof of U.S. citizenship to vote. Washington Republican Party Chair and State Representative Jim Walsh is heading up the effort. This week, Washington State joined 19 other Democratic states in suing the federal government for new restrictions on the Head Start program. The states argue the policies are unconstitutional, and the president issued them without following the required federal rulemaking process. The states also say the directives threaten to pull federal funding from states and could force some programs to close altogether. Today, the federal government agreed to temporarily pause the restrictions and not enforce the policy changes until September 3rd. In a statement today, Attorney General Nick Brown said he's glad for the temporary pause, but relief through September 3rd is not enough. He adds that all Washingtonians should be able to access critical services without fear. Now, following the pause, AG Brown also filed today a suit against the Department of Homeland Security for canceling more than $4 million in funds intended to help the state provide shelter and support to migrants awaiting asylum for other immigrant claims. In another statement today, Brown said, quote, Congress created a program to provide funding for shelter for migrants, but now the president has illegally yanked the funds, ignoring the separation of powers simply because he doesn't like the program, end quote. And yesterday, the Spokane Transit Authority approved a new 2-year pilot program to reduce bus fare for low-income riders. Qualified riders accepted into the program will only have to pay $1 to ride the bus. Qualification, though, depends on existing enrollment in the Spokane Housing Authority and the state's Basic Food Nutrition Assistance Program. Agency leadership and board members hope this will boost ridership and improve affordability for people relying on the bus system. And that is it for your Night Beat tonight. For more on any of these stories, head to our website, KREM.com. Well, don't go anywhere yet, just yet tonight. Still to come, a look into day 2 of interviews with Ghislaine Maxwell regarding the Epstein files and the president. But first, a project looking to make an economic boom in Spokane Valley is almost up and running. Find out more about what hurdles are left coming up.